Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cave Trolls Comics After Show. That's what we're calling it now.
This is all for the week of September 26th,
Yep.
that Monday, and that's how we're going to do it from now on. Is we're weekly, and we're going to cover all of the comic book shows.
Yeah, it makes it easier to know what was going on that week instead of episode 1.
Exactly, and also, I mean, right now it's easy. We're only covering Shield and Gotham because that's all it's out. But
Right.
next week, all of the CW shows air.
Right, so episode 3 for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Gotham are going to be episode 1 for...
It's just it's just a lot.
So it just makes it easier.
Season 3 of Flash, Season 5 of Arrow,
Yep.
Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. It's Season 2 of Supergirl.
Yep.
There's so many comic book shows, so we're doing one entire consolidated show every single Friday. You can get your news here, but really we're just going to discuss what happened, kind of a recap, after show, review, all in one. Plus
The whole
you just
9.
with us.
Is there 9 shows?
Is there 9 shows?
Hold on.
7.
I don't know, math. But anyways.
Plus, and also, we're also going to talk about a little bit of Luke Cage. We're going to give a full review and reaction to that later on, so you can catch that video. But we are going to mention that we've seen it and talk a little bit about
we've already
that,
watched
about
half of it, so...
Yeah. So let's jump right in. What do you want to talk about first? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sounds good.
Okay, so what did you think of this week's episode?
I mean, I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was any better, any worse than the first episode.
Yeah, they're definitely keeping the par for the course. I like Daisy a little bit more this week.
Yeah.
Still Quake, still very melodramatic, but it fit a little bit better, and they explained a little bit more of why she's acting the way she is. The team was still after trying to get her back. I did feel a little bit bogged down when they were like, come back with us, and she was just still, no. Exactly. I get why it's still just a little frustrating. Just essentially because you know what the characters want, and they don't get it, but also you're not getting a lot of reasons of why not.
Right.
So that does get frustrating. But her team up with Ghost Rider and just another fight, again, was good, though. I still really like that character. I just hope we move forward now. Okay, we're working together.
I mean, it seems that way as that's the way the episode ended.
And exactly. Her jumping in the cars, I was like, I hope the dumb, hey, let's fight first and then team up, as they say. I hope that's done, and we can just jump right into it.
Yeah, I think that whole turning point of him finding out that she was kind of going after somewhat the same thing that he's kind of been searching for.
Yes, and he kind of put together that he might have a larger purpose than just vengeance.
Exactly.
Like being able to help these spirits or find vengeance for them.
Right.
That whole thing, like when he said he was like, I think the thing you're looking for is me, I tie it all together.
Yeah.
And I like that too.
And that's the confusing part, because when I watched the episode, I didn't pick up on that at first, and I like rewatched it again.
And you were like, what are you talking about?
And I remember hearing the corporeal beings. I don't know if they're ghosts. They're not quite ghosts.
They're not quite ghosts, exactly. Because they hint that they're kind of ghosts. Their bodies have been taken away from them by some spell book. We don't know what or why or how. You know it's tying to Doctor Strange somewhere. But you just know that they're...
She mentions the book, which is very curious, because... I can't remember the name of the book that's used, that it's like a demon book.
Like the Necronomicon?
Yeah, but it's like the...
I know what you're talking about. It's one of his sources of power, like the Eye of Agamotto. He also has that demonic book.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange uses that book at one point to get rid of the vampires.
Yes, exactly. So, I really think, like I said before, I really think the big season twist is going to happen when Doctor Strange comes out in November. And I think this episode really cemented that. These things, ghosts or incorporeal forms, are related somehow.
Right. It's a scientific experiment, but it turns into a more like
it was definitely exactly. It reminded me of the 70s, how they talked about like all the weird NASA experiments. Like they had these really high up people in NASA hanging out with these cult leaders trying to cast spells to make sure they were able to get to space.
Right.
And like when you saw them in there, like I kind of got what they were going for. Like, okay, there's the spell book, and they're turning them into ghosts, and they're being used as energy supplies. I understood all that, and I know they're setting us up to get the rest of the story later on.
Yeah.
But it was a little frustrating. They just kept saying, oh, and you're just the one with the book, and...
Yeah.
And no one knows what's
There's
going on.
no context of that whole situation. They're arguing with each other, and you're just like, we don't know these characters at all, number one. They're probably not even really that important. They're just pawns in the whole situation.
Exactly. And that's where I get frustrated, because I know it does not matter who they are.
No.
And that's where I got frustrated. I mean, I'm still kind of excited to see where that's going. And I'm excited to see, like you mentioned earlier before we started filming, is that, May went crazy. And that has a lot to do with it. And it's going to tie in well. But right now, I need some answers. I need so. Ever since I watched like the second half of Preacher, or any one of those shows that kind of started picking up and delivering answers more often, I really don't like being strung along as long anymore. Yeah. I'm at that point in my viewing where I want this to be more of a comic book. Think of it as 20 pages, deliver answers every episode.
Right.
And I don't need the J.J. Abrams mystery box for 22 episodes. No. So I was just a little frustrated, but it's still a good episode.
It is a good episode. And also going along with those ghost corporeal creatures, May's going crazy. She gets basically not really abducted, but she gets kind of taken away. Yep. Put into, I'm assuming she's on a Quinjet with.
She looked like she was on the Quinjet with the senators that came to visit.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was 100% because you only saw one person in the background, but it looked like one of the senators. It looked like one of the female senators. But if she was, it doesn't make any sense, so I don't know. I'm really debating on where that actually is going.
Right.
But it did look like she was on the same plane. I liked that they finally showed the director.
Yep.
We finally got to meet him.
They only dropped his first name, but if you...
They called him, was it Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, yeah. If you look in IMDb, it shows his first name.
First and last name, exactly, which leads you to the fact that, he was Patriot in the comic books, who filled in for being Captain America when they retconned the fact that Cap had been frozen, but they didn't want to get rid of all those stories, so...
They just kind of threw some normal human guy in as Captain America.
And then later on, he got powers. And I like how they set him up in here is, not only did they give him superpowers, but in a meaningful way. He's an Inhuman, so he ties in all their stories. And also, that's why Coulson's thought that he should be the leader. Is, we should have a powered leader to kind of unify the country.
Especially with the whole Sokovia Accords.
Exactly. I thought that was actually a good move on Coulson's part for the good of the world and the group and S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D., yeah.
It does suck that he doesn't get to be boss anymore.
No, and he doesn't get to know anything, really.
That was such a good thing. He was like, listen, you wanted this, and now you're stuck with me. But I can't tell you why. You know what I mean? Like, exactly. I loved it. I like that he's like, that's classified.
He treats him as his right-hand man, but at the same time he holds, it seems like a lot back from him. And he doesn't know where May is, doesn't know what's going on.
It's the same thing Nick did. It's the same thing that Coulson did when he was, and it's just, and I think that's where Coulson gets frustrated, and as you can see, is he wanted this. He does know that the country and S.H.I.E.L.D. needs this, but it still sucks. It's still frustrating.
Yeah, he was the director for so long, and then once S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of fell apart. He was the director, but his whole team knew what was going on the whole time at that point.
He kept a few secrets, but not much. After season 2, he kind of stopped keeping secrets. Once the whole alien and human stuff came out, there weren't a lot of secrets in the group.
No.
And now it's back to that, and I could see the frustration growing. Yeah. And I do like that storyline. And I thought I was a little bit annoyed in the first episode. He just kept referring to the director. Now that we finally meet him, I think he's going to be an interesting character. So, the way he knocked out May wasn't just Inhuman, it was tactical, Yeah, just knocked her out.
And Coulson was okay with it because obviously, she needed to be taken down.
Exactly. May is the most dangerous weapon in S.H.I.E.L.D., so, it made sense. But overall, I did like it. I like you said, I don't think it was better or worse than the first episode. I'm excited to see where they're going from here. Not my most excited show. I still love S.H.I.E.L.D., but I think because of Luke Cage, I was a little less excited this week. Right. I knew I was going to get a higher tier of show. Not that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is bad or anything, but the production value and the writing is different because it's a show made for an hour audience that's not going to binge watch, and it's still on ABC, where Netflix is just a different type of caliber of show. It's an HBO show, if you will. There's swearing, there's gritty violence.
They do what they want, and they can do what they want.
They want, exactly. So. And there are still budget constraints, but not the same kind.
No.
Because they don't have to worry about 10 episodes down, really. They're more like mini movies, and I was just more in a mood for that.
They don't have to fill anything, really.
Exactly, and that's where I think I'm still coming off a little bit biased against this episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I was so excited for Luke Cage. Yeah. Which we can talk about a little bit now if you want to.
Yeah, we can move right into
So, what do you think of the first half?
The first half, I think, is awesome. I mean, as much as I felt about all of these Netflix comic book Marvel shows.
Yeah, you were even. I mean, they could have showed a picture of a butterfly flapping, and I'm like, this is a really good show. This is solid. I get what they're going for here, but it's a good show.
It feels like Luke Cage from the comic books, just like we've said about Daredevil from the comic
and
books
Jessica
Jones. And
I liked all the changes that they've done to his story so far. The fact that he used to be a cop and that he wasn't just experimented on; it was more of an accident. And
he was trying to get They're trying to make him healthy again.
Exactly. We should put a spoiler warning at the front. I just realized that I went into episode 4.
full spoilers for the first half of
Lucas. Exactly. But we'll put them if you can put a tag in there so people know. You can skip this little area of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like all of the changes they've done to Luke Cage. I like the directing. Mm-hmm. I agree with a lot of the reviews that are out right now. Is the fact that it was a little slow starting out, but not in a bad way. Just no. You know the character already, so we don't need to jump into the origin story. You got that in Jessica Jones. They assume you kind of seen Jessica Jones. They hammered it a little hard when Turkish shows up, which if you don't know who Turkish is, he was kind of a gangster that showed up in Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Daredevil season 2.
I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen.
Exactly. I guess we get it. You're from Hell's Kitchen, but it was still a cool little episode. It was like, hey, listen, these worlds are connected.
Right.
Same thing later on when Trisha's radio show, Hellcat. What's her last name?
Trish Walker.
Trish Walker, thank you. Yeah. Patsy Walker. When her show shows up, it felt organic. Yeah. You know what I mean? It didn't feel like, and again, it didn't hammer it so hard as they did with Turkish. It was just like, oh, hey, this is the same world. Like this, they're going to mention this stuff. And also I also like the fact that Luke Cage isn't from Harlem, and they don't pretend like he is. They didn't try to retcon that or anything.
He's from Chicago, but not really. He's from Georgia.
Exactly. I like that they were like, listen, this isn't your home. You aren't interloper, and even
you don't belong here, but he does.
Exactly. He's not tied to Cottonmouth and Black Mariah, but they still have this not camaraderie, but similar. Love for the area, even if it's
There's a connection there. And that connection, I would say, is Pops.
Well, yeah, definitely. It is Pops, just in the fact where they're both mentors essentially. Mm-hmm. But more, I mean, the love of the area.
Gotcha.
It's just one is misguided,
right?
You know? Black Mariah, as much as she is definitely a villain, she tries to play it off that she's not. She is, but she is trying to help the community. Just going about it the wrong way. And Cottonmouth is just trying to control the area.
Yep.
He sees that it better him than somebody else. Mm-hmm. And again, not quite as altruistic as Kingpin. No. He is with Hell's Kitchen, where he's like, I can fix it, but I'm going to do it with force. Cottonmouth's just listen, I'm going to run this shit.
And in a way, it's insane just because something goes wrong, he kind of loses his mind a little bit.
Yeah, he did snap a little bit and kind of lost control.
Yeah. And every single time it happens, there's something that he does in retaliation to what happened.
Yeah, very reactive.
Yeah.
But I did it showed a lot of similarities between the two. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily that he was similar as Kingpin, but just the way they shoot his scenes. He has this power. He is a gangster. Same way they did with Kingpin. He is a little bit higher class than some of the people he deals with, but he still has a way of going about things. Mm-hmm. And same thing where he drops a line in I think episode 2 or 3 where he's like, hey, there's supposed to be rules to this shit.
Yeah. And
I really like that because even though he is the most vile person on the show, he's still listen, there's still a class.
He's still
criminal.
Human.
Exactly. There's a way to go about this.
Right.
And I do like that. So he is a formidable opponent and he's interesting.
Yeah.
You see that a lot later on, and again, I don't want to spoil everything. I know we said full spoilers, but we'll get into this another thing. But I really liked when he gets to finally address the community, and they kind of take his side for a small amount of time. Yeah. They're like, nah, you're right. People shouldn't be coming here and wrecking our shit.
Everybody sees both sides of him as a criminal, but also as almost a good political figure.
A political figure and just a community leader.
Exactly.
But the thing that frustrated me about that scene really was that he immediately before that was messing with everybody.
Yeah.
And then, but they're making the community seem stupid.
Yeah.
And while they are definitely misguided and they're troubled because lots of things are going on, they're not that dumb. No. You know what I mean? That frustrated me a little bit. I'm like, they're not going to flip-flop in 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're not that dumb, but at the same time, they're all split between the fact of keeping Harlem black, but also, that whole...
Yeah, the whole, what was the keep Harlem black, but also address the change.
Yeah.
And I get that you're saying that they're struggling between those two, but also he did just rob them blind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I got frustrated with is they're making the Harlem itself, all of the residents past the idiot ball, and the only people that know what's going on are Cottonmouth and Luke Cage.
Yeah.
And it just all of the characters that they've shown, all of them are smarter than Luke Cage. So you think other than Bobby Fischer and some of the other ones, they should all know. They basically introduced a new vigilante when they showed up. I don't remember her name, the one with the baseball ring.
Oh,
I don't remember it. Was it Trish too?
No, it's not Trish. It's Aisha.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Aisha.
Yeah, but like when they introduced her, like she knew more than going on than everybody else.
Yeah.
But she still was kind of torn at the end there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I really like the show. Like I said, I'm only 6 episodes in, so we'll give you our full thoughts when we get all the way through it, obviously. But I really like it.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into some of the other stuff that came out this week, or what's going on next week? I know we got a few other trailers that were shown this week.
I mean, we can go into the last show that was on this week.
Gotham?
We can go into Gotham.
I don't quite understand what happened this week. I'm assuming they're setting up Bruce Wayne to be the Joker now. Mm-hmm. Split personality.
Right.
He's just, what he's gonna when he grows up, he's gonna be Batman, but also seeing the Joker, so he's doing the Joker things.
He goes out at night as a Joker, and the next night he goes out as Batman looking for the Joker.
It's like the Rainbow arc in Batman when Robin gets hurt, and every day of the week he goes out in a different costume, so they don't see that he is secretly Dick Grayson. Yeah, and that's what he's doing it to throw them off the trail. Yeah. One day he's Joker, one day he's Batman.
Yeah.
I don't. Gotham is so silly.
Yeah.
One of our friends brought up the fact that Poison Ivy is slowly going to become some sort of mech warrior. She's going to bring a tree out of the ground and fight crime within it, which is a cool twist.
It's almost like a Lex Luthor type thing, but with a tree.
But with a tree mech, exactly. Yeah. Which is exactly what they did in the comics. I mean, they're following it very faithfully. The sad thing is, since they're making Batman Joker / Batman, I mean that they have no reason to introduce Harvey Dent because they have the twin. Do you think he's gonna have the one side Batman, the one side Joker, kind of like amalgam Superman, which is half Superman, half Batman?
I think one night he's not gonna know which one to go as, so he's gonna don both of those faces.
Like the Dean from Community, just kind of he's just gonna wear both, go out Boy George style, and just like one side Batman, one side Joker, and just talk to himself on rooftops.
Yeah. He'll talk to himself on rooftops, and then he'll go and rob some building while laughing,
or
and then
poison the watering hole. poison the
somebody's poisoned the water.
Poison the water main while curing it at the other hand. I don't know if you can tell. We know nothing about Gotham.
No.
It's not necessarily our forte.
No,
but I think our predictions of the show are a little bit more accurate than what
I think
they
should take our words and put it into a script. And
are they not already? I feel like they're just somebody wrote a fan fiction somewhere and they're like, we could put that on TV.
Yeah,
because I'll see a commercial and it'll be like Fish Mooney, who's already a made up character. Now she has a fish arm, but Penguin is saving her, but he's not a penguin. He's just Penguin.
Yeah. He's got his little Danny DeVito minions.
And and people are coming back to life, but then they say superheroes don't work on television. So I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, I have another question too. What's going on with Barbara Gordon? Not Gordon, I guess, but
she's Harley Quinn / the Joker / Barbara Gordon / not.
Okay.
I think maybe.
Is she gonna be Batgirl at some point too?
Yeah. So no. Well. Actually, in the original comics, Barbara Gordon is named after her aunt, which is Jim Gordon's wife.
Right.
And Jim Gordon isn't actually her father. Later on, when they did that, Barbara Gordon was named after, her mom. But her mom left. In this, Jim Gordon and Barbara were together for 20 minutes. Barbara Gordon was secretly this, sex fanatic / recovering junkie. And she had this really on and off again relationship with one of Jim's partners, kind of, which was cool. I really liked what they did there, except for then they just threw it out and were and she's crazy, which there is precedent for in the comics, but not quite this way. But then they also had a son who was crazy and became a serial killer.
So I wonder if she was actually born with the name Harleen Quinzel.
That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be it's gonna be just like in The Dark Knight Rises when you see when Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was oh, maybe it's by my real name, Robin. Twist. Oh, we get it, Christopher Nolan. You've read Batman before.
Yep.
Robin.
The fire rises.
Exactly. Oh, God, don't even get me started. And that's what's going to be. It's oh, call me by my real name, Three-Face.
Do you feel in charge?
Needless to say, I don't think I'm going to be watching it this season or last season or next season.
Yeah, we watched part of season 1.
Yeah, I watched a good 7 episodes this evening.
It was interesting for a little while, but
and I pick on it. It's not the worst show on television.
No, but it's not good.
It's also not good.
No,
that's the thing is there's just a lot worse television out there. And if you do enjoy it, you don't have to dislike the comic books. You don't have to go, oh, you don't understand comic books. You like Gotham. It's just a weird take that I don't enjoy.
Yeah, it's just not our cup of tea.
Yeah, or most
or cup of anything.
I think they're actually, it's funny these cup of tea. I think they're bringing the Mad Hatter on this season.
Oh, I saw something about that. I saw something about Jervis Tetch, not Jervis Tetch, but just Tetch.
Tetch something.
The name Tetch. And I think I saw that on IMDb as well. So
I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm still getting like the whole idea for this was that we're like anything we say and make up, it cannot be any more ridiculous than what the show is doing. And I saw like they made Poison Ivy an adult, but she still has the mind of her child. Is what the text said. It was like, well, that's gonna be creepy because they said they were gonna make her a seductress, and I don't know about you, but that makes me feel really uncomfortable. So I don't. Yeah. I'm sure they changed their minds on how they did that, but it was still weird.
Yeah. And honestly, I think my favorite part of Gotham when I did watch it was Edward Enigma. Just like seeing him before he actually became.
Oh, it's just like it was someone that was like, "Quit with the riddles, Enigma." And I'm like, oh, I get it because he's like the Riddler, but he's the creepy guy who works in the office. Yeah, which is cool though. They've always hinted that he did a lot of stuff in Gotham. Right. You know? When they did 0 Year, and he worked for Bruce's company actually. And then, you know, kind of backstabbing them with another company. And then also, you know, when he worked for the GCPD in some of the movies and the comics. Like, it's not unprecedented. It's just, I don't know. I'd like to see them just abandon all of the fake crime job that they've done because they've done a really bad job at that. They should have just done a procedural Networld, but they decided not to. They should just go full-on drama, which they already kind of are, but, like, focus on the villains like you said you were going to. We don't need to see Jim. We don't need to see Bullock. No. Those are the two, not worst characters on the show necessarily, but they don't give them anything to do but not be themselves. So get rid of them. Like, I liked them at the beginning, but then it just went downhill. Yeah, where like Bullock was kind of a dirty cop, and Jim was trying to like reconcile that, which that's a good story with Jim Gordon, and where it's gone crazy with it. Yep. So why not just let that go and just focus on Penguin being Penguin and Poison Ivy becoming Poison Ivy and Edward Enigma, you know, slowly taking over the city, stuff like that. Yeah. Just call it Gotham Villains, and that is what it's about. Yep. But I don't know. I'm complaining. Maybe that's what the show is. I haven't seen it in like 2 years, so maybe I'm all wrong, and maybe that's exactly what it is, and that's amazing, and I'm just being stubborn. And maybe none of these villains actually exist. It's all in Batman's head. No, it's on the little boy's head from St. Elsewhere, like we all know from any crossover. You know, it's just, you know, we're gonna shake the globe, and there's gonna be Jim Gordon throwing people off roofs or whatever the hell he does in that show. Swear to me. So that's the K-Trolls Comics after show. Yeah. For the week of September 26th. If you want to catch us on anything else, you know, YouTube, Twitter, all of those random things, watch all these shows and watch next week. We'll have way more to talk about other shows. It'll be a good week next week. Exactly. And, you know, and if you were hoping for no Luke Cage spoilers, I'm sorry if you watched this show. We put the warning there. Yeah, we'll put the timestamp to let you know when to skip forward and where to skip forward to. Yeah. And if you're looking forward to our full Luke Cage recap, we're going to watch the other 6 episodes like right now and then put up another video. So look out for that one in a couple days. Yep. Bye.